Good morning. So you clicked on this video because you want to be smart. Probably because you want to flex on your friends by having conversations with them and just appearing more superior and more smarter because you just seem to know more about the stuff that you're talking about. You probably also want to learn more skills. You want to learn more useful skills that'll help you in your self-improvement journey. Now, just to be clear, there are plenty of ways to do that, and I have a lot of videos on my channel about things like this. But specifically, if you genuinely are very interested in becoming smarter and becoming more multi-dimensional, just appearing smarter than your peers, this video is for you. Now, the problem with the internet is that most advice here is awfully vague and seemingly meaningless. Like most of the advice that you get on the internet on YouTube channels is like something like eat more almonds or drink more black coffee or exercise more or sleep 8 to 10 hours a day. I mean, that's a pretty solid one, to be fair, but you get my point, right? And if you genuinely want to be, if you're genuinely serious about becoming smart, bro, eventually you're gonna have to start learning stuff and stop looking for like 17 life hacks that will instantly make you more smarter. There were plenty of geniuses throughout history that were seemingly sitting at their work desk and working all day without sunlight, without exercise, without proper diet, sleeping only about 2 to 4 hours a day, and still managed to change the entire world. So that should tell you something about life hacks. Now, the best and in my opinion the only method to get more smarter, get more multi-dimensional, and not just seem like you research about a topic a lot, but actually have like meaningful information. And in order for you to seem educated about a certain topic or set of topics, the only way you can get there is, in my opinion, through reading books. Just answer my question really quick. In the last year, how many books have you read that weren't directly or indirectly related to your college course? Yeah. Now, in my opinion, there's a very specific method to reading books. What traditional education teaches you, the methodology of reading books like textbook style, I think that's good for preparing yourself for exams. And even that, like, that's not the best method. Traditional education it just fucked us all over in that way. But in my opinion, I have devised like a good enough plan or a good enough system in order to make the best out of the books that you're reading and basically educate yourself the best. So there's a certain set of rules that I always advise to people that I'm, for example, coaching or even inside my community. Oh, by the way, my free community is live. It's the first link in the description. It's completely free. Go and join right now if you want to become a part of a larger tribe of, for the first time, Indian high-value men. So go and join it right now. And here are the set of rules that you need to follow in order to make the most out of whatever you're reading and actually become smart through that. The first, and in my opinion, the very basic rule, the foundational rule of reading books is start with fiction. Now, why I say that, even though I like despise fiction books, I've read them for myself in the past, but I generally don't advise people to read fiction books. But I would advise a person that has never read a book or hasn't really taken the benefits of self-help books, I would always advise that person, you specifically, to start with fiction. The reason why that is, it's because firstly it's easier to consume because your brain is not as developed to like start consuming high value, like high information, densely packed, informative and valuable books as of now. Plus, like in my opinion, there is this place for fictionist books. They're not complete a waste of time like watching Netflix is, but there is a place for reading fiction books. For example, it does enhance your vocabulary because you're reading so many dialogues and you learn like firsthand how to speak better. If you say it out loud, that's even better. And it also, I've said this in my how to build new habits videos, you should always start with sort of like a beta version or an easier and the first draft kind of a version of whatever habit it is that you're trying to build. So in terms of reading books, I would advise you to start with this, which is much easier to consume, and then move on to more valuable and more informative and more thought-provoking books, self-help books basically. Number 2 is when you're actually ready for non-fiction books, when you actually want to give non-fiction books and self-help books a try, don't go on the internet and search for top self-help books to read in order to do whatever you want to do, right? Instead, what I would advise you to do is look for books around the concepts and ideas or just issues in general that you're currently struggling with. So I've seen that whenever I've had problems with my discipline and with my consistency, reading the book Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday and books like The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, they not only were easy to consume, but they were also extremely pleasurable and I read through them like a breeze. I think I read Discipline is Destiny within 3 days, which is, I think, 250 to 300 page book. It's a very thick and very dense book. It's highly value packed. When you start to read books around the concepts and topics that you're currently struggling with, you're not only very, very engaged in that book, but you also instantly get ideas on how to implement the things that the author is trying to convey to you. So in my opinion, it helps you in two ways. Firstly, it helps you actually complete the book because you genuinely want to know the answers to whatever questions the book is answering. Plus, it also helps you implement actionable steps, which is the next point that we're going to talk about. Point number 3 is actually implement things from the book. This is very interesting because when's the last time you read something from your school book and actually implemented it in your life? Like, that really tells you about how meaningful school books are. Anyway, when you read something and then implement it into your life, your brain keeps that information for the rest of your life. It will 100%, I guarantee it. But when you read something and then you refuse to take any action, your behavior doesn't change, your mindset doesn't change, nothing really happens, your brain will 100% discard that information as it is a waste of just brain capacity. Every single time you read a book, there must be one permanent change in your life from reading that book, and that comes from taking series of actionable steps from the book and then seeing which one were the most valuable and then keeping them in your life for the rest of your life. Every single book that I've read, I have learned something, I have applied something, my behavior, my mindset, my goals, my desires, something has changed. So just look for ways where you can implement the teachings from the book, where you can learn from the teachings from the book, when you can change your behavior, your actions, something in your life, and that'll make sure that you actually gain something from the book. Otherwise, it's just a complete and utter waste of your time. You might as well just watch another video. Point number 4 or rule number 4, it's reading topics that you're genuinely interested in. It makes you multi-dimensional and less boring. It's not really a rule, but I felt like it was important enough to include in this video. So basically, when you research for a topic, like when you research for a YouTube video, right? When you research for this video or when you came across this video, you were genuinely interested in the topic, that's why you clicked on it, right? Similarly, when you read books that you're genuinely interested in, your brain is just gonna be more invested in it. Your brain will have higher stakes. As a result, your brain is way more likely to implement some sort of actionable step or to have some sort of a mindset shift or have one of those like light bulb moments. You know about those. You must have seen those people who are like gym goers, gym bros, and their entire personality is about the gym. Oh bro, I ate like 200 fucking grams of protein. Who gives a fuck? Right? You don't want to be that guy because that's like, sure, he may know a lot about the gym, but that's like his entire personality. You don't want to be like that guy. That's annoying. Even though he may be way smarter than you, but that personality in general is annoying. So you want to be multi-dimensional, meaning you should be able to walk inside any room and have a conversation with any single group in the room and still be interesting enough and still have your input in the conversation be valuable enough for you to be considered educated in the particular topic that you're talking about. That's called being multi-dimensional, where you can walk inside any room, walk into any circle of people and have a meaningful conversation and still seem interesting. And that comes from reading about books that you're genuinely interested about and not just taking advice from self-improvement gurus online. Read books that you're interested about, bro, or read books about topics that you're genuinely struggling with. That's the absolute cheat code to becoming smarter. And when you read like this, you're way more, as I said, you're way more likely to take action. As a result, you're reading better. It's an absolute win-win situation. Do not try to read books that other people advise or you've seen other people that you idolize read. The very last thing in terms of rules that I have in terms of about books in general and just learning in general is you don't need to learn 100% of like all the information available. You really only need like 20% of the information in order to be smarter than 80% of people in a particular topic. And let me explain why. Most people don't bother picking up a topic. Most people will never try to learn a new language. Most people will not ever try to learn a new instrument. Most people will never start a YouTube channel. As a result, they will always have the outsider information. Outsider information is what I call you must have heard, right? People who are in the YouTube creation space, they know some things as hallmarks, as benchmarks. So there's always this sort of insider knowledge, and that comes from actually implementing the stuff. That comes by getting your hands dirty. You can't be the karate kid by putting your jacket on, jacket off. You have to actually do the stuff. When you just do the basics over and over again and you implement all the stuff that you learn about, that's when you become better than literally 80% of people. So literally knowing just the basics, knowing just the industry standards will put you further apart from 80% of the crowd, because that's how little it takes, literally. Alright, so now you implement everything that I said and you're smart, right? How do you keep yourself from sounding like the annoying, nerdy, annoying kid from the Polar Express?
Hey, you! Do you know what kind of train this is? Well, do ya? Actually, it's a Baldwin 284 S3 class Berkshire type steam locomotive.
It's very simple. Don't act cocky and don't try to impose your knowledge onto everybody. Give you a very quick example. Say you have read the compound effect, right? There he talks about how you need to take small incremental changes consistently, and that will change the trajectory of your life, right? So you have read that book and one of your friends says, "Oh bro, I've been studying 9 hours a day for the past 12 days, bro. How are you still getting better marks than me?" And you say, "Well, actually, I've been studying for an hour a day for the past 1 year, every single day." And then you say, it takes way longer to take like small increment changes in order to see the benefits, and you just flatter on and on about, and you make the piece and you just sound condescending and you make the person feel stupid. That will make the person, whoever you're talking to, make them hate you. Instead, take a very slightly different approach. Say your friend says the exact same thing, right? Your friend says, "Oh bro, blah blah blah," right? And you go, "Well, actually, I was also making that the exact same mistake. I have spent a long time studying 9 hours a day, and because that was not sustainable, I was not able to do that for a long term. As a result, I was not really able to get the benefits from studying for extended periods of time, because when you look at it from longer perspective, from a long enough timeline, in 12 days you studied 9 hours a day. That means you studied 9 and multiplied by 12 hours. That's not a lot of hours. But instead, when you look at studying 1 hour a day for an entire year, that's 1 multiplied by 365. That's 365 hours of studying. So that tells you that when you study a little bit but consistently for a long period of time, that is way better than just studying for like 12 hours a day for like 2, 3, 4, 5 days. When you explain something like that without sounding condescending, telling them that it is okay, that whatever they're thinking is okay, whatever they're feeling is okay, it's sort of people skill, but it is also just character in general. You need to not come off as cocky, and that is, in my opinion, something that I was responsible for telling you, because I don't want to create cocky smart man, right? So being smart is an attractive and respectable trait to have, but you have to be careful not to come off as cocky or nerdy about it, because that will give you the exact opposite effect. Hopefully you got some value out of that. I'm building a community of high value men or men who want to become high value. If you think you're one of them, subscribe to my channel right now so my videos can find you more easily. I can help you in your own self-improvement journey, where videos just like this, everyone knows there. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.